Café con leche, leche, leche.
Jordan Monet here. For all you listeners, you guys should tune into the Cafe con Leche show on theedgeonair.com with Aaron, where you hear the greatest music you've never heard.
Yes, y'all. Y'all heard it right. Tune in Fridays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the Café con leche, leche, leche. And we're back here. I told y'all we have a very special guest in the building. Actually, she's right here with us right now.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Just saying, introduce yourself, please, for people that don't know who you is.
Yesenia Betty Boop Alvarez.
Yes.
I graduated from the school January 2012, and ever since then, even before I graduated, just been hustling, radio and TV.
I know.
Acting, modeling, just branched into a lot of different things.
That's what I see. You do radio, acting, modeling, writing, producing, voiceovers, social media manager. The list just goes on and on and on.
No tackle for the Chicago Forest football team as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Damn, that's what's up. That's what's up. So what got you into this?
Got me into what?
I mean, I know it says that since 14 you already decided you wanted to be a reporter and all that good stuff.
I've always been a writer. I always liked to write. That was my thing. I was always just like a really good writer, and in school, teachers would tell me like, hey, like you have a really good talent at writing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, cool. So you just go along with that. And then when I was 14, I went to Carl Schurz High School, and I was in the newspaper. And at first, I just started off as a volunteer, just like to write. And then the next year, I got in as a student in the class, and right away, I was like one of the youngest ones because I graduated high school when I was 16.
16, that's wild.
I was 16, yeah.
I know your parents were happy. Is that?
Yeah, so I was younger than everybody else. Everybody else was like graduating, and then they made me, like, I think it was like my junior year of high school, I was like the editor-in-chief of the school newspaper, and then the next year. So I just always like writing, and then it just branched on from there. So when I was in high school, that's when I realized, like, okay, like, this is something that comes easy to me, so I'm just going to keep going with this so I know whatever it is that I do, it's going to be like in the journalistic field.
That's dope. Now you done voiceovers for. Do we got anything out there that's out there? Yeah,
so like commercials, some movies, like Jay Davis. I did some voiceover work, and then that was really cool because it was in the movie. It was a sketch comedy, Choke on That Reloaded, and then it was cool because it was at the. I know it sounds funny. It's not. It's actually not a porn. It sounds funny. I know that's how he is. He's just like, double entendres or whatever, but. Yeah. It was really cool because I had a scene where I was actually in it, and then also I was narrating that part, which is a sketch. It's like a compilation of a lot of sketches, right?
Okay.
Like SNL type stuff.
Oh, okay.
In a movie. So that's how that was. So it was cool because, he did the premiere at the Portage Theater, and then it was on the big screen, and I was like, oh my God, like, yeah, it was really cool. You sit in the audience, you have your friends come, you guys have popcorn, and then you go in there and you do the whole, like, take pictures, the whole Hollywood vibe, and it was really cool, because you see what the bigger picture is with so many years of just putting in work,
Nah, that's tight though, man. I see you done 16 at 16. That's pretty dope to graduate high school. That's pat on your back right there.
Thank you. The first week that I was in school, because my birthday is in the second week of September, so how you go into school the first week of September, let's say like September 2nd.
Right.
So I was 12 my first week of high school, and then I turned 13 the next week.
Young buck.
And all these people were like 18, 20. They're all like demo sophomores, and I'm just like, hey, I'm 13.
Have you done anything like ghost written for music or anything like that?
No. That's not my thing.
No, just writing regular and stuff like that. That's pretty dope, though. And you said you went to the Illinois over there, right?
Yeah, State Street.
Damn, how was that?
I liked it. It was cool. Everybody asked me, like, oh, what is that like? I'm thinking about going there, but I don't know if it's going to be good for my career. I'm like, no, you don't know if you're good for your career. You can have all the tools in the world, all the resources, but if you're just going to sit there and be idle, nothing's going to happen.
That's true,
I made the most out of my time. I'm all about maximizing my time. Obviously, if you see, like, how hard I've been hustling since I was, like, 14, 15.
14, you've been on it, yeah? Yeah,
so it just really is all about the tools that you're given and what you do with those tools. So I got stories for days. So I could tell you about how I was there and how I was off no sleep and how I would do my internship, go to school, stay around, and then do my hours, and then after that go work overnight to get paid like minimum wage just so I could pay my phone, so I could pay for my my tuition, and that was that. So it just is really all about what you're willing to sacrifice and how much you're willing to put into this. How much do you really want out of it?
What was the hardest part, you would say?
I think the hardest part, it was a lot of things. One, because you're so dedicated, you don't really have time to focus on like working a good job. Like at that time, I was just working overnight at a dispatch at a taxi place, and at the time, it was like I think I was getting paid like $9.50 an hour, and this was overnight, and all that really paid for was like my phone bill at the time, like just my card. Yeah. This was before the Venture card was out. This was like when we paid $20 and you were able to take the train. Yeah. So that's what that paid for. It didn't really pay for food because I didn't have enough money for food, and it paid for my tuition. That was it. That's all that really was like. But I think not sleeping was very difficult. Like I was a zombie. Yeah. So it was really up all night because I had to. That was the only time I really had to work. And then during the day I had my internship, I had school, I had my hours. So I think that was that. Just my entire life was revolving around my career. I was like, this is it. Like, this is crunch time. I have to take as much as I have to dedicate myself as much as I can right now that I'm in school.
Yeah. So you had a good support system?
Yeah. The thing about it is that when you are 100% so dedicated and people see that you're crazy about this, people start thinking you're crazy. They're just like, why are you doing this? So then the doubt starts sinking in. Then people are like, Yesenia, do you really think like you're gonna get a job at a radio station? Like, come on, like think about it. And then you can't let that doubt sleep into you, because then that doubt turns into fear.
True.
And then once you get that fear, then that's when you start feeling insecure. That's when you start thinking that you're unable to do something. And then I remember what that feeling was like. One of my friends, she was like, do you really think you're gonna get a job? Yesenia, like, come on, please. And then that fear started sinking in. And then I'm like, no, I'm Yesenia. This is not gonna happen. There is no other way for me. I legit like don't see myself doing anything else in life. And at that time I was like, no, like this is the only thing that I want to do. So so I didn't really have too much good of a support system. I'm not gonna lie to you. Honestly, my main support system was myself, because I was like, I know what this is gonna turn into. I was like, there's no other way for me. And then I did have one mentor still today, J.R. Strauss. He's actually he was an instructor at the school on State Street, and then he's actually the producer of the Mike and Mike show in ESPN, and I still talk to him, and it's really cool because the thing about him is you will find your support system to be in the most random of people, like people who you probably don't even think about. And then he's the type that whenever I get frustrated and then I'm like, oh, this is really pissing me off, and then he'll hit me up like, he's like, are you kidding me? He'll just hit me up and he'll just say something like, come on, like, do you see like everything that you've done? Like that's insane. He's like, I wish I could be like you. Dang. You know, so it's cool how things come full circle. Like, here I am, like wishing somebody could, you know, uplift me, and then you're over here telling me that you wish you could be like me, you know. But that's what years and years of hustling gets you.
That's true though, man. You got to be your own support system. How you saying? It's like, if you don't have it in your head, like, I'm going this route, you're gonna hear closest people tell you to be like, all right, let's just get that regular 9 to 5, as long as you stay focused and stuff. So what you doing right now?
So right now I'm doing a lot of modeling, radio and television right now. A lot of gigs have been hitting me up as far as modeling goes. So recently, earlier this year, I recorded a commercial for TV that aired on Telemundo every day, and it was for a lady who owns a store, Equilibrium. So she owns jeans. I'm actually wearing her jeans right now because I just have so much clothes from her. So that was really cool because it was in Spanish, and then it aired on Telemundo every day, all throughout the day. So then people were like, oh my God, I saw you on TV, and I saw you on TV. I was like, oh, that's really cool, you know, because you forget. You know, you just go about your day, and then people, they just look at you like, hey.
They come out of the blue. And
so that's really cool. So I've been doing a lot of modeling, and then some MC work, and then radio as well, 14:50 a.m. on the weekend. So I'm actually going to be there tomorrow. And, you know, just hustling.
What got you into modeling?
What got me into modeling was that when you're in this field, either you're really good at one thing and you stay in that one thing. Right. Like, for example, J.R. Strauss, he's really good at producing. He's been at ESPN for like 13 years. That's unheard of. You know, that's really, really difficult because in radio, what does they call it?
Revolving door.
A revolving door, exactly. So I was like, okay, I know I'm good at a lot of things, but at the same time, like, I need to diversify myself. I need to make myself more diversified. I need to reinvent myself. So I'm like, all right, you have to do, again, with what you have, right? The little tools, the little resources that you have. I was like, all right, cool. What else can I do? I was like, I know I'm good to be in front of the camera. I was like, while I'm still young, since I'm a female and since people like seeing me on air, I was like, let me give it a try. As far as in the modeling world, I was like, all right, so let me go ahead and let me do this. So I really had no money. Like, I didn't have anything to be paying for hair and for makeup. So I learned how to do my own hair and makeup. I was like, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna practice every single day for an hour. And I was like, all right, well, I need to do photo shoots. I don't have $400 to be giving.
Just take the
it's
photos.
expensive, right?
It is true.
So then, I found my resources. I was like, all right, cool. I met up with people that were willing to trade in their time so they can practice on the photography side, and then me to get the free pictures. And I just started putting myself out there. And, it's been working ever since. So I've been doing that. I've been, it's been 3 years that I've been modeling. And then it's been really cool because I've been featured, like, on VibeVixen.com. That was really cool. Featured in magazines, like 9.0 magazine. They are on, like, on international distribution. I thought that was really cool. I've done TV commercials on another TV show, Chicago Latino TV. They had me, like, as their spokesperson for, like, for the clothes. So that's really cool. Just recently, this past weekend, I was emceeing at the bridal show on behalf of the designer Kitty Chen. This weekend I'm supposed to be walking the runway in Cicero for Fiestas Patrias for the Hispanic Heritage Month on behalf of Equilibrium. So it's just as much as you put into it, but at the same time, how I was explaining it to other people, it's like you hustle every day so much, right? So every day it's like it's a snowball effect. You put a little bit, and it rolls and it rolls, and then to the point where it gets big, and to the point where I don't even have to knock on doors anymore. People come to me, like how you came to me, and then how other gigs come to me, and how my talent agent's like, hey, I got this and this for you, because you've already put in the work to put your name out there, and I have a really good reputation because I bust my ass, and then I'm sorry to cuss.
You good.
And you just guard that because that's all you really have in this industry. That's what you go by, your industry and your reputation, and that's what it's like now.
Nah, but that's dope. I know you came early, so that's always a good look, Some people come like on the dot, or they come 10 minutes later and stuff.
Yeah,
so
I was like, I'm coming all the way from Chicago. It's Friday, rush hour traffic.
What side of the city are you on?
North side.
North side? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All the way north, or
not too far from Humboldt Park.
Oh, okay, yeah. I stay right over there by Reese Park and stuff.
Okay.
So that's what's up. So what would you give like any advice for like any up and comers that are like struggling with cause like how did you build up the courage? I know I double stacked
Yeah. Well, okay. So I grew up a tomboy, and I only have brothers, and strict Mexican family. We're not allowed to wear makeup. We're not allowed to dress a certain way. I had to dress in baggy clothing. And later on, my confidence started going up when I was around 19. And that's when I was just like, no, like this is fun, like this is cool being a girl. And then you just got into it. I just got just into like skincare and doing my hair and doing my makeup. I had really bad.
You got I'm sorry. You do online. I think I saw some online stuff where you show how to do makeup and stuff.
Yeah. So people have been asking me how to do my makeup because I do all my own makeup. For when I do shoots, when I do photo shoots. And I would say about 98, I would say all the times that I've done photo shoots, I do my own hair and I do my own makeup. When it's on TV, it's when I let them do my hair and makeup. Like, I've gotten so used to doing it myself, like, I'd rather just do it myself. But some people have been asking me, hey, how do you do your makeup? So I've already done, like, one tutorial, but if people keep asking me, then I'm going to keep doing more. But how did I get up the courage? Okay, so that... well, I've always been like on the heavier side of things, and then so I just never really let that bother me. Like, I was like, why? Like, there's really no reason why I should let that bother me. And then also, I was like, well, I got to do this one time for the thick girls. You know what I mean? I was like, right now is the time. Everyone is more accepting towards people who are different sizes, different cultures. There's something out there for everybody. Like, if you don't fit into a lane, then just make your own lane. I never let any of that bother me. And you go, you take it day by day. You know what I mean? Like, I have tattoos, I have colored hair. I'm not 5'8", so I can't do runway with, like, for example, for the Kitty Chen. Like, I could never do runway for a bridal show that's in downtown, but there are other opportunities for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, these stores that have come up to me like, hey, we really want you to model our clothes. Like, they ask me like all the time, and I'm like, okay, because that's something that fits me. And then there's something out there for everybody. So I never really let that bother me. So now people come up to me, and girls tell me like, oh my god, like, you're so confident, like, I wish I could be like you. How do you do it? And all I really just tell them is like, just stop thinking about it. Just stop. They're like, I just don't care. Like, I really don't care about what other people have to say as long as I'm happy with myself. And it's more of an insight thing. It's not really anything that has to do physically. It's just really about how you feel inside, and then how you want to connect with other people. Like today, I just put up a picture, and then I think the quote I had read online, it's like, there's the true meaning of beauty is like someone who's unafraid of being themselves.
Oh, that's yeah.
So that's just really how I feel. So that it's just like I'm just happy with
random.
myself, and that's that.
How was your first shoot? And
My first shoot,
Yeah.
I think that
remember?
I think I was wearing a red dress. I think I probably still have that dress. It was really nice. I remember it was in Wicker Park. It was up against a graffiti wall, and at that time I thought it was dope, right? I was like, damn, I'm born. But then you go into and you go start talking to these people who are in the industry, people who are at these talent agencies, and they're like, okay, we think you're very pretty, but if you want to be taken seriously, like it has nothing to do, with you not being 5'8", that's fine. There's an avenue for you. Don't even worry about that.
Right.
It's about being professional. Do you want to be
Okay.
taken seriously? Do you want to be an actress? Do you want to be in TV shows? Do you want to be in fashion shows? You have to take yourself a little bit more seriously, which means you do have to be a little bit more industry standard, which means when you take photos, make sure it's like, so I'm giving people now some tips as far as like when modeling goes. Like if you have tattoos, try to hide those tattoos at the time, because what you want to do is you just want to look like a blank canvas, right?
Yeah.
So don't show too much cleavage. I had a little bit of problem with that, because I'm like, what? Like most of my shirts, like that's all I own. They're like, no, don't show too much cleavage, because later on when you get to a shoot, then they'll dress you up, dress you down. However, just remember, you are like a mannequin.
Yeah.
You have to, you have to water yourself down. You are like a mannequin. Then when you get to TV or to the movies, then they'll be like, all right, so this is what we're gonna do with her. So that's what that was. So she really, this is a talent agent that told me about that. She's just like, all right, so if you want to raise that bar, if you want to get to the next level, this is what you have to do, because everything that you've done from this point and before, forget all that. If you want to take it to the next level, you have to be industry standard. So again, these are things that you learn over time, and if you want to be professional, then that's what you have to do.
Oh, that's tight though. How many tattoos you got?
8.
8? Oh, I got you beat. I got 10. You got any big pieces, or just like more little small ones?
A lot of little small ones.
Oh, okay, that's good. I'm gonna read something, see if you remember this. I will not lose, for even in defeat.
It's a valuable lesson learned, so it evens up for me.
There is always a valuable lesson. Yeah, that's tight, man.
That's Jay-Z. That's true, because really you can't accept, like, let's say you had a bad day, right? Okay. I understand everybody has bad days. I have very bad days sometimes too. Right. But there's always a lesson to be learned, and as long as you learn that lesson and you acknowledge what that lesson is, it's like, okay, tomorrow I'm not going to be that way, So tomorrow I'm happier because I grew a little bit. Right. You know what I mean? So that's what that whole quote is about. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've always been like so fearless, and so I'm just going to do whatever it is that I want, because even if I make a mistake, as long as I learn from the mistake, it's not a mistake.
That's true. That's how they say. You never really lose unless you learn something from
Exactly.
it, I'm going to go ask you into some other random stuff real quick. Okay. What's your favorite color?
Blue. Sapphire blue.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite number?
7.
7?
Lucky
Why?
number 7.
Just lucky 7?
Lucky number 7.
All day has been lucky for you?
Yes.
How about any favorite animals?
Well, I like my dog. Her name is Barbie. I like tigers. I just always like tigers. Yeah.
Oh, the tigers are tight. Are you a dog person? That's how you got a dog?
Yeah.
What kind of dog is it?
She's a Shih Tzu.
Shih Tzu? Shih Tzu? Is that like the Dachshunds, the little hot dog ones?
No. She's just short and furry. She's got some little short legs.
Oh, okay.
She's white.
Oh, I see. Now, if you have any superpower.
I mean, I would say just woman's intuition.
Woman's intuition. You already got it, so you're good.
That's it. Like, just is what it is.
Do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I love to read. I love reading. I definitely recommend reading to people. I know some people just don't like it. They're like, oh my God, it's so boring. But I would say reading, because that has helped me out a lot. Something that I went through when I was at 107.9. I wasn't able to have the opportunity to go on air as quickly as I thought I could, because my Spanish had a very heavy American accent. So then what I did to practice was reading a lot. I read a lot in Spanish, read a lot in Spanish. And then also, just on the intellectual side, as you grow, and then especially if you're in this industry or you want to get into this industry, it's very difficult. It's very cutthroat. Every single day is a struggle. Once you think you have made it, don't be fooled, because you have not made it. Like, everyone wants that seat that you have, regardless if you're behind the scenes or in front of the camera. It doesn't matter. So you really have to find a place of peace. So what I like to do is I like to read a lot. Whatever the case may be, sometimes I like reading like self-help books, like emotional intelligence, like making sense of like the things that you're feeling, and then how to always turn it into a positive. And then yeah, I would just say I like reading a lot of self-help books just because it makes you see things in a different light, and also it allows you to learn things quickly in the time that it takes you to read a book, as opposed to living life for I don't know how many years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel you on that.
I also like doing my own makeups because that has helped me out a lot. That has definitely helped me out a lot because I know people who work in television, and then sometimes they don't have a makeup person on call, and they have to go to this event, they have to go to film or whatever, and they don't know how to do their own makeup. They don't have somebody to come and do it, so there they are doing their own face, and sometimes it doesn't come out that nice. And this is your face. This is what you work with.
Be able to.
Right. So yeah. So I like just practicing, just doing my own makeup, and just hanging out with friends, just real chill.
Oh, that's what's up. Who's somebody like somebody you look up to in this field and stuff?
In this field, definitely J.R. Strauss, obviously, because he's my mentor, because he's like, he always knows the right things to say, and he's tough, you know what I mean? He told me exactly how things were going to be, very cutthroat, and if it wasn't for him conditioning me for that, I would not. Now I'm just so like nonchalant about it. I'm just so conditioned, so just like yeah, that happened. Oh, okay, cool. Move on. Because he just told me 1, 2, 3. This is what it is. Very black and white. So I definitely like Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams. I remember when her show first came out. It's now in the 8th season. When her show first came out, I had not even gotten into school yet. I was like, damn, like that's gonna be me one day. I was like, I'm gonna have my radio career, and then after that, once I've decided to retire from radio, I'm gonna have my own TV show. But then I started going into school, and then I was like, well, they're teaching us everything here. I was like, I don't have to wait no time. I was like, I can do radio and I can do TV, and so that's when the Holla TV show came about.
So, all right, what was like one of your favorite memorable moments throughout your career? If you have any, not favorite, we'll just say a good one.
A good one. I would say maybe when I was, I guess, an intern at 107.9, just because I did so well. People do not know that when I was an intern, that entire morning show was Yesenia. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, like, even when I didn't know how to speak Spanish that well, when my accent was very strong, all the writing that had to do with the segments, that was all Yesenia. I could write in Spanish better than I could speak it, right? So all the segments, all the funny stuff, all the jokes, all the he would have like a person that would come and do beauty tips. I wrote those. Like I had those prepared every single day. You know what I mean? So I would say that just because you listen to things how they are on air, and it's like I wrote that, like I did that, like that's all me. So that was a cool feeling inside that I never really shared with a lot of people, but I still have my receipts. I remember since April, I think it was like April 11th of 2011, that's when I started being an intern there. So that was really cool, working behind the scenes. It's like your work, being on air, and that was really cool.
Proud of and stuff. So how long did it take from intern to actually get?
I was there as an intern like 4 months, but those 4 months felt like a year. I'm talking because remember, like I didn't sleep. It was early in the morning. The radio show, the morning show, was from like 5 a.m. to 9. So it was about 4 months, but I busted my ass. I'm talking about I was there 6 days a week, and even as an intern, they needed people. So they're like, "Hey, Yesenia, we need you to run the board on the weekends." As an intern. So while I was going to school, while I was interning, while I was working overnight at that taxi dispatch place that I hated.
Never forget.
Then on the weekends, they're like, "Hey, Yesenia, we need you to come in, to come and fill in." I was still not hired, and I remember I was there for 24 hours. I was at the radio station, right? It was like on a Saturday or on a Sunday, and then we went to a festival. It was like during around the same time, Fiestas Patrias. They're like, "Hey, we need you to go to this remote and help us out. Hey, we need help now back at the radio. Like, we need you to run the board." I was up for 24 hours. Like, I had not gone home.
Damn.
And that was when I was an intern.
Yeah. All paid off, though. I mean, look at you.
Yeah, it paid off at the end. Yeah, of course.
Big things. Now, if you could go anywhere to work, where would you want to, like, your destination? This is what I want to do. I'm going to have my show over here. Where would you have it at?
I would say on an island somewhere, because I love to travel. I've been bitten by the travel bug, and I just cannot stop traveling. I love the tropics. I love Belize. What is Belize? Belize is not an island. Belize is on the side. But I do love Belize. I love Jamaica. Yeah, I would just say anywhere with a nice beach.
So you've been traveling. What was your favorite place?
Bahamas. Bahamas was very pretty. That water was absolutely gorgeous. Bahamas was nice. I just like the whole island feel. Just because you're so used to it being so cold, you just
Yeah.
want to go somewhere far, far away. So right now, my fave has been Bahamas.
Bahamas. I see. I see. Let me see what else we have here. Now, do you have a big family? I know you're saying you got a lot of brothers.
Yeah, I have two brothers.
Two brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Were you born here?
Yeah, I was born in Chicago.
Okay. So how long did it get to you to? Because I know I was in Puerto Rico when I first learned Spanish, and then I came over here. They made me speak only English,
Yeah,
so it kind of
they tend
like
to do that.
yeah, they kind of had it. So I'm like a little bit on and off and stuff. How long did it take you for you to like get your Spanish back?
I would say in like 2 months.
Oh, 2 months. Just kept on reading.
I just kept on reading. Any chance that I got, I would only watch novelas.
Mhm.
Don't ask me what the novela was because it was just stupid. I just felt like I was like killing my brain cells. But I listened, and then I went on YouTube and I watched La Reina del Sur like twice. Remember, I fell asleep, but I was like, no, like I'm gonna get this. And then I would just call up family members that I would never call before, and I would just have random conversations in Spanish. And first, they were like, "Why are you even calling us?" And two, "Why are you only speaking in Spanish?" And I'm like, just like, don't worry about it. Like, just talk to me. That's it. And yeah, well, when I was at 107.9, I was actually already working as well in the afternoons as a co-host on 1450 a.m. and that was pure 100% Spanish.
Right.
But because it was 1450 a.m., a lot of people that listened to 107.9 didn't know that I was over here, and the people at 107.9 didn't know that I was employed over there.
Tight.
So I was that's where I really got a lot of my practice. So that was cool too. So it was just a combination of a lot of things, but I knocked it out. And then one day on the program director, he was like, "Hey, I need you to fill in on Saturday." I was like, "All right, cool." I was like, "Hey, family's in town, and then they want me to send them shout-outs. Can I go on air?" He's like, "Yeah, that's fine." So he heard when I was on air, and then I sounded great. And then he's like, "What? Your Spanish sounds so good. Like, I can tell you've been practicing. Okay, now, twice every hour, I want you to mention this, this, and this." And I'm just like, damn, man. I was like, see, this is why, like, then after that, I had to talk a lot, and I was just like, okay. Yeah. But by that time, I was cool with it.
So now you're more comfortable.
Oh, yeah, now I'm 100%. Yeah, now it's great.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. Now, excuse me, I'm over here burping. I shouldn't be doing that right now.
Take some Alka-Seltzer.
I need a little something. So if we look inside your phone right now, what's your 5 top songs that you listen to?
Right now, like, I haven't, look, reggae is just what makes me so happy. It just lights up my life. So I have like an entire hour and a half playlist of just reggae.
Oh, yeah, just reggae?
Yeah, just reggae. And Gucci Mane.
Gucci Mane.
That's Gucci. And,
so what kind of music
Jeezy.
do you like? Hip-hop, reggae?
Hip-hop, reggae, and some Mexican music. And then dance music like Avicii. Yeah.
You like bachata?
No.
Said no, yeah.
No, I just don't like it. I just don't like how they sound like they're whining all the time. I just don't like it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Before we get up out of here, do you have anything else you want to say that I haven't mentioned or brought up and let the world know?
Holla TV show. It is in both languages, Spanish and English. It's going to be back on air first week of October in Chicago if you have cable. AT&T Uverse, RCN, and Comcast, CAN TV Channel 19. Check your local listings. CAN TV, Holla TV show. So it's in English and in Spanish where I interview major recording artists and then also talk about a lot of positive things that are going on in Chicago or businesses that are doing positive things to help the Chicago community. So that's definitely a show that's for a lot of different cultures. Again, because I speak both languages, it's subtitled all throughout, so it doesn't matter what language you speak, you're able to understand everything that I'm saying. And then it's also of value because, I show you what's going on in the community, hole-in-the-wall places that you otherwise would never even pay attention to. But, hey, that's like a studio where kids can go after school for free and spend their time there. Like, you would never even know about these things. So, Holla TV show, first week of October. Follow me Twitter, Instagram, at Yesenia, YESIONAIR. Website, yessionair.com. All of my pictures from my photo shoots, my biography, on-air checks. I put all that out there just so people can, you learn from your peers. If people have any questions, I'm always open. YESIONAIR.com.
Thank you so much.
No
I
problem.
appreciate
Thank
you coming
you.
all the way out here, showing some love. And then you're always welcome to come back. You got anything you want to promote? Or just give me a holler out, promote it on the station.
Thank you. You're the best. Thank you so much for having me here today.
No problem. Thank you. We're about to get into another song right here. Make sure y'all tune in to the edgeonair.com. I am Aaron here on the Café con Leche show.